I also forgot my shirt glows in the dark. Welcome everyone.
Back
to Sisters
InSani-Tea. The podcast.
The podcast. Yes.
And today we're sipping some spooky tea.
Spooky tea.
Because I have some spooky tea. And then we're going to speak more on some more spooky tea.
Oh, it's blinding.
Oh, it's blinding.
We wanted to show you the blood of our enemies that we're drinking today. Yum, yum. No alcohol, by the way. We don't drink.
No.
Well, I don't.
I don't either, really.
She does.
On occasion, but not always.
If you want to make your own blood of your enemies at home, or sacrifices or whatever, this is just half red Powerade and half purple Powerade.
And it's very blood looking.
Ooh, very
Glug,
ASMR.
glug, glug. Ooh.
There you go, sister.
Thank you, sister. I like how the light really isn't showing now that there's liquid in there.
I can try to find you one that glows better.
It's all good.
It's a good thing I brought paper towels, because our head is leaking.
You know where my brain went with that. Couldn't help it.
I know, that's why I said it, dearie.
Of course.
So,
before I spill my spooky tea, let's have a spooky sip.
we shall indeed. Also, this is episode 3, if we didn't say it already.
Episode 3. Cheers, my sister. Ooh. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
What's that powdered sugar treat in a stick? Pixie sticks?
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of pixie sticks. I like how you just chugged yours.
I did indeed. I gotta cycle it where it's not gonna give somebody a seizure.
Yeah, mine's just doing that. Alright. So, shall I tell them my fun adventure from this week?
You should.
Alrighty, so firstly, I should preface this by saying I live with my partner and my 2 cats, and an unknown number of spirits. There's always been spirits in my house since we moved in, or since I moved in. Hasn't been over 10 years. Holy crap. However, that's because this house is like over 100 years old. It was turned from a full house into a duplex at some point. And both sides, I know for a fact, have activity, although they're not always noticed. I know my previous neighbor noticed. However, for me, it started with just like hearing a conversation come up through one of the vents, and there's nobody else in the entire place. Not in my basement, not next door, because nobody had moved in yet next door at the time. That kind of thing has been...
Sorry, it's blinding. But
very common.
you could see the shitty camera stuff in the dark, so continue, my sorry.
It's all good. And then when my partner moved in, we did have a couple instances where he got to experience things. Not as much as I did, for sure, but definitely was there. Like for the time when we still had Bella, and all 3 of them were in the bedroom with us, and we heard footsteps in the hallway. That was fun. He was like, "Is that what I think it was?" I'm like, "Uh-huh." So,
We've all had our fair share of footsteps in her apartment. We've told the footsteps in the attic story before.
Oh, it's okay. The footsteps in the attic thing is weird because there's not really a full attic in my place, okay? You can get up there to, like, work with the insulation and stuff, but there's, like, this much space. There's nothing up there. So I don't know why they would be going across my above me. There's not space to do that. And there's no animals. Don't know.
Don't know.
But this past week, I was, and I'm going to have a little potty humor in here. I'm sorry, but I can't really help it considering the fact that the first time that this happens, I'm literally sitting on the, on the toilet. I was getting ready to go to bed, and what we usually do is we shut the door so the cats can't come in, because Soren, my little dude, likes to dance on our faces at night if we do. If we, like, leave it open. So, I was getting ready to do all of that stuff. My partner was already in bed, and I hear his voice saying my full government name, which is not Hallie, by the way, just outside the bathroom. Like, it's literally like I can hear it coming from just outside where the bathroom is, kind of close to where the desk would be. In my front room. She knows all about that layout of my house. She knows what's there. Mm-hmm. So, and I went, what? Like, if you guys have heard Appalachian tales of mimics, you know that, you know, A, don't whistle at night outside, and B, if you hear someone calling your name, no, you don't. No, you don't. However, this is the first time I've ever had something like this happen in my home. That is a first for me. I've never heard my name called. Not my short name, not my full name, not my other nicknames, none of it. Okay? So, I got up, I finished what I was doing, I got everything shut down, and I went into the bedroom, and I said to my partner in a very quiet voice, "Did you call me?" And he said, "No." And he got this look on his face because he knows what that means, usually when something like that happens. And I did fill him in later. But the fact that it was definitely his voice. It was his voice, okay? So we go to bed, we go to sleep. I try really hard to just not think about it, okay? And then in the morning, he's sleeping next to me, behind me. I'm facing the door. I wake up. I'm just kind of like chilling, trying to figure out if I want to get up now or what. And
that is really full.
I know that.
You were going.
I'm gesturing with it. Leave me alone.
I didn't want it all over your pretty dress. Although I guess it would have matched.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So he is asleep, and when I say asleep, I mean the man is snoring. Okay, he is snoring. He's out. Okay? And I hear his damn voice again, calling my full fucking government name this far away from my face. Okay? When I tell you I got up and tore ass out of the bedroom, Ari woke up. Which I feel bad for. But I did tell him what happened, and then I started to kind of freak a little bit, because I'm gonna be honest with you, the last time that I had anything creepy in my house, it was sent by someone. And I had to manually remove it magically as a witch. Like, and here's me thinking, oh no, I'm gonna have to do a full-ass exorcism on my house. That's literally going through my head.
Careful with the staining liquid.
Toss it down my tits. Okay. This is what happens when you hang out with your sisters.
Yeah.
Chaos. But, so what I did was I spent the next couple of days doing some research. I didn't hear it again. I never heard it again. Okay? But I did not like it. So I literally went and I picked up some ingredients, and I did something I don't do very often as a witch, and I went astral. I went undercover. I was like, I need to figure out what this thing is. I was very grateful to tell you that it is not like a full-on mimic. It was like a spirit that likes to mimic. However, there's a question for anyone out there who's watching this. My partner does not use my full government name. At all. Ever. So how in the hell does this entity know my full name?
Good question.
And his voice. Like, and specifically how he would say it. I don't know, but either it was very close and on point, or, you know...
I thought maybe it came out of the portal downstairs, and that's right next to
Well, I
Ari.
shut that down.
Oh, okay.
It's been on lockdown for a while because I didn't want it messing with any of his stuff.
Gotcha.
Like, I was worried that there would be, like, you know how they like messing with the electricals.
Yeah.
He's got so much gaming stuff down there. I didn't want him to end up with a problem. This was a problem enough for me, trust. So, I did do a whole cleansing, and I got it to go away, and it's gone now. But it just got me thinking about all the paranormal adventures we've had over the years. Mm-hmm. And so that's what our topic is today. Right?
That is. Is it Halloween? No. Do we care? No. So, I have 3 spooky snacks for us. Actually, I'll start with the one that I put in the freezer. It's less spooky, but still. I thought we would try ourselves. This is one of those impulse buys they put right next to the cash register. Thank you, sister, by the way.
Of course.
We like Reese's. We like animal crackers. We got Reese's covered animal crackers.
Oh, God. That looks dangerous.
Yes. Animal crackers. I said animal crackers. Animal crackers dipped in Reese's. And they're bite-sized. So this is also a try video. So you're getting a podcast, a try video.
Some spooky adventures.
Exactly. And I got 2 more things down there.
Also a good recipe for blood of your enemies.
I am wearing the right one. I am. Tiger cutter. Boop, 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 boop. Ah! Didn't cut my hand. Yay. It's a safety cutter.
Safety cutter.
I'm making a right Nathan of this bag, though. Sorry, honey, I love you, but I still can't forget that time you opened that bag. It was just... I put them in the freezer for a bit, so they should be nice and non-melted.
Whoa.
So, animal cracker.
Animal crackers in
Got a
peanut butter.
buffalo or something.
Oh, smell it. Oh.
Reese's. It smells like Reese's.
Ready?
Oh yeah.
Boop, boop.
I really kind of.
Mmm.
I found my home.
Approved.
Agreed.
So, for those of you who do not know, our origin story as friends. We got introduced by a mutual friend who I will not name.
Yeah.
But they invited me on a ghost hunt.
We got more of the blood, so I put it
There's
in a,
plenty of blood, trust me.
I put it in a dusty spot, so I didn't want it to get dusty. So if you could put these up there. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I apologize. The one
okay.
the one closest to you is mine. I've already drank out of the cup before. So.
But we were doing a ghost hunt when we met because she's one of the founders of our team. Mm-hmm. And so that was the first night I got to hang out and like really kind of do some investigating. So with that foundation, of course, a lot of our discussions would be spooky. Spooky dooky. And the thing is, like, we've done a lot of, like, residential stuff.
Now, the website's defunct, so don't try to go there.
Omaha Paranormal Research.
Yes, this is our... And then it says founder on the back. And it has, like, the website or something.
And I have a case manager when I think at home.
Yeah.
And I don't wear it very often. However, what was the first investigation we did that was not a residential investigation that we all did together? Which one was that? Do you recall? Was that Squirrel Cage?
Did you go to Jocelyn?
Yes.
It might have been Joslyn Castle.
I don't know if that was the first big one we did. I know I went to that one. But I could swear we went to Squirrel Cage first.
Yeah, it might be. The first investigation that OPR went on was a now defunct haunted house, man-made haunted house called Mystery Manor. And we didn't get a whole lot there. We got a few EVPs, not a whole lot, but it was a lot of fun. And the guys there are really nice. So,
I'm sad that I'm never going to get the chance to check it out.
yeah.
That was before my time.
And then we went to Squirrel Cage. That's like our home. That's our ghosty home.
We have a lot of stories about Squirrel Cage.
We'll probably haunt it when we die. If only Carla was still working, then I could be like, Carla, it's Allie and Maggie.
Or we could just go haunt Dave.
Yeah.
And say, here's what it was like to get pinched on the butt by you.
Yeah.
Pinch.
We can chase him around the 4th floor pinching his butt.
So,
Who might like it so much?
Squirrel Cage Jail was the jail in Castle Bluffs for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Opened 1800s and closed, I believe, in the 1960s? I believe.
Close in the 2000s.
Closed as a jail. I know that they had it as other stuff too.
I think they closed it as a jail in like the 2000-ish time period.
I don't recall. Anyway,
I could be wrong. It's been a while.
It's been a long time. However, that place, if you've never been there, it was one of a number of rotary jails. And that was some kind of experiment to see if this kind of thing would work. So basically what you had is you had this big prison cage thing on a water motor that would be turned, and if you were not turned towards the entrance, you were stuck in a cell on the other sides, on the other parts of the circle. So
it made it easy for there to be one jailer.
Yeah.
Overnight.
And then the water motor broke, and they had to start doing that manually. And if you're ever in the jail and you take the tour, you will get to see it, but there is a closet that has the top of the cage bit literally in it.
And giant wrenches.
And giant wrenches to turn it.
If I feel edity, which I may or may not, so you will know. We won't. Because you'll be seeing some shit, some pictures. If I have the dedication to go find all the pictures. But you might see some of these pictures. 'Cause I know I have a picture at the top of the cage.
Yeah, we do.
Giant
somewhere.
wrenches and shit.
Yeah.
I think Nathan even crawled down in it once.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be caught dead. I
No,
would feel like
that's scary.
Yeah.
Because the reality is if you look at how this thing is balanced in the actual jail, each floor in the cage corresponds to a floor in the jail. Mm-hmm. There's 4 floors in the jail. Obviously, the 4th floor was the apartment that the jailer's family would live in. That was sexy.
Thank you. We think better out than in here. So.
Right, yeah.
Put up with it.
Deal with it. Meh. Anyway. But, so for example, like, 1st floor would have the jail part, and there was, like, the general population, like, open area that they could, mill about in and sit in. 2nd floor would have been... Is the 2nd floor where the infirmary is?
Yes.
Infirmary and a couple of other spots. 3rd floor would have had, like, where the kids and the women would have been. Because, yes, there were children in this jail for a while.
Well, no, I believe 3rd floor had the infirmary. 2nd floor had the women and kids.
Okay.
And the one
See, it's been a while since we've been there, so we're kind of getting turned around about the actual layout of the jail.
Yeah.
Okay, this decided to pop out of nowhere. Thank you for that.
That's a bunch of Pokemon cards on the bottom of this table.
So, the first time that we went there, we went with a pretty decent group, right? We had a pretty decent group. I remember, like, if you go in, there's a kitchen on one side that would have been where they prepped the food for everyone. And it has an iron stove in there. Do you remember that night when we all lost our mind because we heard a wham and it sounded like that iron door just went slamming?
Mm-hmm.
That was scary for all of us that were in that room. That was loud.
And we also lock each other in to the jail, so we knew no one could actually get in or get out. So
Yeah.
like, what the heck was that? And then the last time we went there was, I think, one of the more interesting ones. But we've always, the thing about the Stockholm jail is that we always get EVP evidence.
Or something going on. Like, experiences, always.
The last time we went, I took a couple of coworkers from my current job out there. And it was a current coworker and her wife. And I think one of their friends. And it was just like them and then you and I.
Yeah.
It was a very small team. And you had brought your pendulum. And you were practicing, you were showing one of the curator ladies your pendulum and how it works while you were in the control room, which is in the kitchen on the first floor. I had taken, we were just up, well, no, we weren't. We were downstairs on the first floor, too. We were in one of the cells by solitary.
Oh, yeah.
We were sitting down in solitary, and we just heard this loud bang. And we're like, what the fuck was that? And I thought maybe you hurt yourself or something. So I said, are you guys okay? If I go check on Allie? And they said, yes. So I ran out. They got, I think they're like, oh shit. And they followed because they didn't want to get left alone in the cell. I don't blame
you either. That's not a fun place to be alone in.
Especially anywhere next to solitary.
Oh, solitary is a...
But I ran in, all startled, and I look at you, and you go, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, are you okay? And I go, yeah, what was that? I thought it was you. You were like, I thought it was you. I thought it was you. And you said, I think it came from the second floor. And I'll have to dig out this picture if I'm going to edit this, and I'm probably going to say it a lot this episode, okay? So deal with me. I was like, okay, so I braved it. I took my flashlight. I went up to the second floor alone. I think y'all all eventually followed me. And they had this, like, easel thing, like, the easel thing, like this, and then has this thing on it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you put the thing on top, like, they had, like, a cardboard picture, it had a bunch of pictures and explanations on it. It was like this, long ways, right? Well, it had ended up on the floor, but the only way it could have ended up the floor if it lifted up off the ledge, came out, and then went like this, and then down. So it was like laying upright, like the long way up against the easel.
And the way that I remember it,
floor, I think.
the way that I remember it was how stable it was.
Yeah.
It was really, really stable. You would have really had to have shoved it or just pulled it up and dropped it yourself to create that.
Yeah,
effect.
and we came up
and especially with that sound. Mm-hmm. It was so loud.
You happened to ask like some sort of question right after that happened, or before that happened. It was like it was responding to you.
I don't remember what I asked.
I don't either, but I think we need, next time we go, if we go again, we need to replicate that somehow.
If they still have that easel.
Well, yeah.
Or even if they don't.
See if they can respond again.
Like, my question is like, what did I say? What did I ask? Because I don't remember. It has been some time. Mm-hmm. So I don't really remember exactly what I was even, but I think I was going through some of the more like standard lines of questioning that we use when we try to interact with spirits, or like maybe I asked it to make a sound.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't remember exactly what it was. It's something that I feel like I have to go over the, like, whatever evidence we had from that.
And it's like phasmophobia. Where are you? Thought. Okay. Oh, this is off topic, but also not off topic, because last night Nathan wanted to play Phasmophobia.
Oh, God.
And he was in the house alone. I think Emmy was right outside the hallway. It was in the bathroom in Tanglewood. And the first bathroom. And he was basically standing where the sink is facing the tub. And he just turned the spirit box on and was about to ask, where are you? I think he might have put out he said, where are you? And before it could get any response, Beef Jerky Man appeared before him, in front of him, but it was just a black shadow. and it was doing the whole groaning thing. And he was like, oh, okay. And he couldn't get out because it had shut the door on him, the bathroom door.
Oh, no.
And he was just staring at it like, oh. And I mean, well, I'm running in with the camera going, I'm going to get a picture of it. And as soon as I throw up the door open, it's gone. I'm like, And then he goes in there again to try, and Beef Jerky Man, it's himself, shows up. And I'm like, it likes you. And he goes, I don't like it. He probably didn't say that, but that's just for comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, I don't think he liked that at all,
It was just like, it was right in front of me, and I'm like...
But, like, it was funny to me because, like, as somebody who's seen spirity things for the vast majority of my life, finding a group to do stuff with was the last thing I ever thought to do as an adult. I was in a silly, let's, hunt stuff around the high school when I was in high school, but that was high school. This was a completely different, it's a completely different experience, especially when you have so much stuff happening. Like, in one night, you remember that one night that we had some guests, and we had some certain people that I'm not going to mention names of. Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
And we had Carla, who was a docent there at the time, who was giving us it was my first time there, I think. And it would have been my first time.
Why is it so windy outside?
I have no clue. I can't hear it.
Okay. Anyway, good.
But this was my first time being there, and now we've been there so many times, it's crazy. But we go in there, and Carla is giving everybody a tour. Okay? Do you remember this, right?
I just remember our favorite line.
Well, there was a point we're in talking about the kids that had been...
Yeah.
And at one point, I feel someone touching right here on me. Touching. And, like, mind you, I'm, like, this far away from the rest of the group. Nobody was touching me. And then I hear, my name is Emma, in my ear. And just as Carla is saying the name Emma, and I'm like, oh, crap. Hi. She's here.
Yeah.
She was a very, very young kid.
Very sweet kid.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of shy, though.
Yeah.
But she's super sweet.
Yeah.
Unlike Dave, who just wants to goose your butthole.
All the
anytime
time.
You come up on the 4th floor.
The amount of times that she jumped when that happened. The first time, you're like, what was that?
What was that?
And then at one point she was teasing it like, I know I've got a lot of cushion back there, but please stop pushing. I think that's what she said anyway.
That sounds like her.
Like, actual dialogue. It's been some years. It escapes me, but it's... Anywho.
Yeah, we've had, I think I've told this on the podcast before, but I'm not 100% sure, so if I say it again, sorry, but it is one of my favorite experiences at the Squirrel Cage Jail. We were in the infirmary on the 3rd floor, and I had taken a new, I say new hire, but we don't get paid, newbie under my wing, and we were going upstairs, and we actually met her at one of our seminars. We used to do seminars, and she was sitting sideways, so like she could see the front door, the door to the infirmary, and the back, and I was sitting with my back to the wall, in the middle of the room, facing the door, and we were asking, because the jail is rotary. They some guys with the gall and the ow would freaking stick their limbs out, and they would get fucked up because they would hit the wall as it went around.
And some people got their arms ripped off doing that.
Off, broken bones.
And they would do that just to get out of the cell and go to the infirmary.
Yeah, so I said, is there anyone here who purposely hurt themselves in the jail just to get out of their cell and come here to infirmary? And I hear right over my shoulder, I hear in the most manliest, gruntiest, whisperiest voice, yes. like long drawn out. Yes. And I look at her like, you heard that right? And she looks at me like, yeah. And I try to keep my cool for 5 minutes. And I go, let's go downstairs. I was like, oh my God. I looked around me. No one was behind me. I think there was an old radiator. So I'm thinking maybe it could have been that. But it sounded like yes. So I am. And
those things don't even
yes.
work in there.
Yeah.
None of that stuff works in there.
Exactly.
Like they have other systems that are centralized, so they don't need those anymore. But they're there because they're part of the building.
Yeah.
But I think
I'm just like, oh.
Like, you know, when it comes to Squirrel Cage Jail, like if you've ever heard a paranormal investigator talk about like evidence review being like watching paint dry, and that's very, very true. However, I don't remember if it was me or you. That brand new camera we had at the time that we had set up close to where the solitary confinement was. Do you remember? Right under where the hangman's noose would have been.
Oh yeah. So
there was it was a night vision camera, and it actually had really, really good audio. We were surprised at how good that audio was.
Was that the FLIR? Not the FLIR, but the Spectral?
It was the red camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. The little red camcorder with the flip out thing.
Yeah, that was the high spec.
We just got that.
One.
We had just gotten that very, very recently. I think this was the first time that we had actually properly used it. But I remember one of us, I think it was you, but don't quote me. If you remember, let me know. I don't. We were in the OPR office, and you had headphones on, and you were watching that footage. And something that happened in that footage made you take off the headphones and throw them across the room. Do you remember that?
I do not. However, anything that I see, like if I see scrolling on Facebook and I see a spider, I will chuck my phone. So that sounds exactly like me.
No, but then
I believe that.
Okay, then you backed it up. You listened to it again. You back it up and you marked the time on it. And then you had me listen to it. And there was nothing. Nothing. We weren't there. None of us were around it. We were all in other parts of the jail. You can hear some of the walking by as we were walking by to, like, leave, right? And then later we hear, help me. And it was this long, drawn-out male voice.
Oh, it gives me shivers. Oh.
I remember you, after listening to that for the first time, you threw the headphones across the room. I remember them hitting the friggin' window. And bouncing on the floor a couple times because you threw it that hard.
How did it go that far?
I don't know. We were at the desk, so you threw it. You really threw it. And I was like, woman, are you good? I was like, not sure what to think here, right? And then I hear it, and then I remember taking off the headphones and going, Rah! What is that? Oh my God. Like, for a minute, I thought, like, maybe someone had... Because if I remember correctly, we only had 2 guys that night. We had Nathan, and we had that other volunteer. That one of the ones that was brand new and was training, remember?
Yeah.
Young dude. And I thought maybe someone had come up and was pranking us. But the reality was that at the time that we were having that happen, some of us were on the 4th floor. Okay? And then one or 2 of us was in the kitchen. But I think the rest of us were up on the 4th floor. Because I think that was also the same night that Nathan debunked that the wardrobe door opening when you stepped on a particular area because it just unbalanced everything. And it wasn't the case when we were there, so it's got to be evidence.
Sorry, that still pisses me off.
Yeah. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like... I get that would be freaky to see a door open like that, but there are other reasons for a door to open like that.
Skull
in the skull. Skull.
Okay, well, we finished the blood of our enemies. Yeah,
Or did we?
Or did we? Thank you, sister.
Yes, we had more. So, along with that, like, that particular EVP I remember that changed something for me personally, because prior to this, evidence gathering wasn't really part of the lexicon for me, so seeing that be a thing, I was like, let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
So
It is like watching paint dry sometimes, though.
oh, it is. It really is.
But we made a lot of fun out of it. So.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, though, that is that the solitary confinement. Okay, let's talk about solitary confinement in Squirrel Cage Jail. Now, mind you, I don't know what most jails do for solitary confinement. However, there is this long, squeezy hallway with a wall on either side, going down to this one particular door. A very heavy door. The other side, there's another door on the other side. You're squeezed in between these doors, and there's like very little space. It's very claustrophobic. You would have had to go to the bathroom in a bucket.
Standing up.
It would not have been fun.
You can only stand up, really.
Imagine, pooping in that. I can't. All I know is that when I went in there, remember when I went in there? And, like, they shut the doors on me? Mm-hmm. And y'all just kind of let me be for a few minutes. I didn't stay in there for that long. I don't remember if this is something that I discussed or not, but I do remember this happening and going, am I just imagining shit or something? Because I was hearing, and I know this wasn't y'all, I was hearing on both doors, like, knock, 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 and like little tiny knocks, like, and I was hearing whispers, but I was like, I must be hearing shit. I must be hearing shit. But at the same time, it's the Squirrel Cage Jail.
Yeah.
There's so much that happens in that place. There's so many, like, there's a ghost cat. I've never really run into the ghost cat myself.
Me neither.
I do know that there have been experiences where people have gotten their legs rubbed up on, like a cat would have rubbed up on them. Mm-hmm. Hearing meows or hearing purring.
That's really cute.
It's adorable.
It's
so cute.
Ever. And that other door that Solitary comes out of comes out to the now office.
Would have been the warden's office, I think, right?
Yeah. So I actually dared myself to go in there by myself. I don't think I shut the door. But I stood in there by myself. I had Nathan wait outside the hallway, the long hall. I can't stay in there longer than 5 seconds, maybe a minute.
Claustrophobic as hell in there.
It's claustrophobic. It's freaky as fuck.
It's clammy.
Oh.
It doesn't feel good. No. Like, energetically, it feels
like
gonky.
all the spirits in the place are sitting there with you. It's just like, ugh. You can sometimes hear the old-timey tin can wrestling hitting all the bars. You can sometimes hear that. You do have to watch out because there's an occasional mannequin hand sticking out one of the second floor.
But that's for display purposes only.
Yeah, you will see a bunch of mannequins in
there are mannequins. Remember Selena
Harvey.
And Justin.
Oh yeah, and Harvey.
And Harvey.
Or Henry or whatever his name was.
And Jake Bird in the
yeah.
Jake Bird, if you don't know that story, he was a very infamous axe murderer who was detained at Squirrel Cage Jail. And didn't he escape? Wasn't he one of the ones that escaped somehow?
Yeah, he might have.
I remember them talking about how big of a dude he was. So
there have been several attempt escapes. A couple people moved out the AC unit and started carving a hole out the side of the wall in the rec room when no one was looking. They got out. 4 guys climbed the fence. Only 2 made it over. Maybe 3. One got his legs stuck and impaled on the fence. And they had to leave him behind. Dumbasses went to, like, a relative's house, so they caught him relatively fast, and back to jail they went. Another guy escaped by climbing in the toilet in the back.
I was going to mention the toilet one.
You want to continue?
Like, firstly, how the shit, literally, how the hell would you do that going through the toilets?
He climbed all the way up the toilet, all the way up to the 4th floor, thought he was out, opened the door, and he was in the warden's bedroom, his warden's apartment. So, yeah.
And if there were kids in that apartment, oh dear.
Oh, God.
Could you imagine?
It'd be scary.
That'd be terrifying. Although, to be honest, if you were the warden's wife or the jailer's wife or whoever else lived up there, you probably would have something close to hand to, like, defend yourself if you had to in that kind of situation. Or I hope so! God.
Hands up, bitch!
Oh, boy. Actually, one of my other favorite features of Squirrel Cage Jail that's not even paranormal at all. Well, you know, when people would, like, light their newspapers to write stuff on the ceiling?
Right.
So there's all this, like, smudged lettering on, like, the ceiling and on the walls. And it's all done in burnt looking stuff. And I'm just like, well, I guess you gotta amuse yourself somehow in the clink, right?
And there's also the number one rule in the Squirrel Cage Jail is our favorite rule of all. It's so much that when Carla was doing a presentation, a seminar, she even had us answer because she knows it's our favorite rule. Don't lick the walls. Because the walls are made of lead and the page is chipping.
and like when I first heard that, do you remember when I first heard that and I went,
why the fuck?
People lick the walls?
Well, you know.
Hot.
Thank you.
So, what's your favorite experience out of Squirrel Cage, specifically?
The one that it was like, yes.
That's scary.
We had a really cool EVP. I'll try to put it in here. I'm going to say that a lot. I'm sorry if I don't. Don't come for me. But I will actually try. And if I do, these little snippets will probably be out. But anyway, there was a recording of, we left a recorder in the women's kids cells because they did have kids, women and children in these cells.
There were some kids who were wards of the state
that they didn't have anywhere to go and their parents got arrested. Sad. But there was an EVP left on one of the bunks and we were tying out. We were getting everything set up, all the cords rewrapped, and I heard Nathan talking to some other guy. You could tell he was either on the first floor or way up in the fourth floor. They weren't on the second floor whatsoever. And he asked a question, and I don't remember what the EVP said, but you could hear like a guy in that cell that we put the EVP in answer him. Or no, he said, I don't know. Yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so clear, and it was like, that's not one of our guys.
And honestly, the weirdest thing for me, one of the things that I thought was really odd about that whole place in general,
I don't know.
was it UNOP who got that picture? The picture that was in the warden's apartment across the stairs? Huh?
Yeah.
UNO Paranormal?
Yeah.
In fact, they've caught several things that surprised me both here and at other places that I've seen. Mm. And we'll talk about the other one when we get to that other place. But like, another group caught a photo, and they were in one particular cell area taking this picture across where the stairs are into where the warden's little bedroom would have been, where the bathroom is. There's only one bathroom in that whole place. That's it. And it's weirdly laid out.
Yeah.
The toilet's on a literal pedestal. Anyway.
Yeah, it is. And it's like,
I am your queen. Hear me shit.
There's
anyway.
blinds over the window, but there's like a half circle on top that's not blinded, and you're kind of like at the same level almost.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird.
It is weird. Not to mention you can see out the window pretty badly well.
I know. I'm like, and there's always somebody standing guard outside.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like this photo. The reason that it was significant is because one of the docents had taken a picture of this same figure up in the 4th floor. Okay? It's the same exact figure. The same exact figure. You can see a hat. You can see a gun on his hip. You can see a hand, I believe.
If you want, let me know.
Oh, well. But, like, it was clearly the jailer, or a warden of some sort, who just happened to be there. And I think the first picture was the one on the 4th floor. But this one just kind of solidified that there was something there, right?
Yeah.
So, that's what I find really cool about, paranormal research in general, and especially across various groups. Like, seeing that picture from UNOP was definitely pretty. And then they went and they did all the cleanup stuff, and they, like, focused it a little bit so you could see it a little better. I think the only difference between that picture and the one from the 4th floor was that it looks to me, not just that it was on a different floor, or that, it would have been a different background, is that I think the one on the 4th floor was slightly turned. Like, the figure was slightly turned on a different way. But you could tell it was the same one because it was the same hat and the same gun and all of that stuff.
Which was weird because
it was weird.
Mystery Manor, we had a picture of we got a picture of a guy in a top hat.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then he had, like, a little kid, like, hanging onto his leg on the bottom. But it's so, like, blurry that it could just be that thing where people's eyes
pareidolia. Pareidolia.
Yeah, find faces and shit. So I'm thinking that could be it.
Pareidolia is where your mind just fills in the blanks for you, basically. So, like, you're looking at something that could be completely nondescript and have nothing going on with it, and you're seeing faces, and because your brain wants to make sense of what you're looking at. And sometimes it doesn't make any sense of it.
Exactly.
That's what pareidolia is, really.
So is that your favorite part of Squirrel Cage? Your favorite evidence caught?
No, my favorite was Help Me.
Yeah.
Because that scared the pants off of both of us when we first heard it. Because we did not hear that in the moment. We did not hear that until we reviewed things.
Yeah.
The problem is, the only other thing that I think we were a little upset about was the fact that we didn't think to just set an audio recorder at the same spot.
Yeah.
To see if the audio recorder would also pick up the same EVP, because we've had that happen before. It's really rare, though. For us.
That I got.
Yes.
We had a recorder running and it didn't pick it up.
Pissy.
That would have been a good Class A.
That would have been amazing
evidence.
Class A evidence, that's for sure. Not only was it clear to you, but it was specifically responding to something you asked it.
Yeah, and 2 people heard it.
Yeah. Which is wild to me.
Yeah.
But awesome.
The reason why I got into paranormal is because, we're kind of backtracking a little bit, but my old house that I used to live in for a long ass time, when I was a kid, I would wake up in the middle of the night, and this happened like 3 or 4 times. I would see a lady in, like, milky white. She was in a really pretty dress. All I saw was, like, milky white. I didn't see any colors. She was in this nice flowing gown. She was sitting on the, like, left-hand side of my bed. She had a book that you could see had pages, but it was all misty. She was flipping the pages, and you could see her mouth move like she's reading the book to me. And I could see next to her these 3 little kids that are barely big enough to see over the bed, were just kind of, like, resting their chins on the bed and, like, listening to the story too. It was like a girl, a boy, and a girl. And I would like come out of bed. I'd be sitting, I'd be listening, and I'd be like thinking to myself, I can't hear them. You're not my mom or my teacher, and I'm gonna listen to you. And I'd go back to sleep. And then 5 minutes later, I'd be like, what the heck was that? And I sit back up, and they're gone. It happened 3 or 4 times. And then there is this guy that a lot of kids see, a tall man.
Oh, God.
He has a really tall hat, like Abe Lincoln-y kind of hat, and like a mustache, like a beard and stuff, and a mustache. I saw him standing in my room, and I was playing with my ponies and my toys and whatnot, and he was like this, just staring at me. And I thought he was really scary when I was younger. And I think we are supposed to forget about him when you grow up because he's rumored to protect kids, I believe. And I had forgot about him until I was telling my mom about the woman and the 3 kids. And she goes, there was also that tall man guy. And I go, tall man? What do you mean? He said, I don't know. You just called him tall man. And I go, oh my God, I remember. And I could see him clear as day. So now I kind of think like he's one of my main guardians.
Well, it's funny because when you talk about this guy, all I hear about is the Hat Man.
Mm-hmm. Hat Man. Yeah, the Hat Man.
But the Hat Man that I know of is not nice.
Oh.
The Hat Man is a sleep paralysis demon.
Oh. But I was actually awake for this one, so I don't know. Yeah. I don't get that. But he did have a scowly face, so he could obviously.
Or maybe he was just like not really wanting you to do what you were doing, or being scoldy.
I was just playing with toys, but
yeah,
I kind of feel like now he was protective, but that's what got me into the paranormal. I'm actually kind of glad I'm out of that house because I've had several restless nights where I just hear things, and it was very scary. So.
Well, then again, you know, you're real sensitive to that stuff. Mm-hmm. You always have been ever since we met, even before that, obviously.
And the way he would communicate is I had a mirror in that dresser, and he would make little noises on the mirror.
I remember those noises!
Yeah, he would only do it for me for the most part. He was always like shy when anyone else was around. The one day, I was telling Allie about it, and I said, at the time we called him Josiah, and he's also been called Damien. Not Damien. Devin. Well, now he's called Devin, but he's gone by like several different names at this point because I've like talked to several different medium-y people, and that's what Trev says his name is. So that's what we're going with. I trust Trev.
Love you, Trev.
But I said, I know you communicate, because I used to do yes and no questions, and he would respond. Like, I know you can communicate with the mirror. Trev would not like that either, but he hates mirrors. But I said, I don't remember how we said it. And I said, can you show Allie or whatever how you
No, I remember what you said.
What did I say?
I remember what you said. You said Devin, or whatever the name was you were calling it at the time.
Josiah.
You said, Josiah, this is my friend Allie. She's like me. She's really sensitive to spiritual activity, and she's really nice. Would you mind showing her how you talk to me? And all I hear is...
Yeah, and I will not expect. The funny part is it scared the shit out of me because I was not expecting him to do it.
Yeah, but he did. And do you remember my reaction? My reaction was, oh, shit.
And the saddest thing is that when we moved, the movers broke that mirror. Which makes me really sad. And I have pieces of the mirror which I probably shouldn't have, but they're covered in salt, so it's fine.
Well, the reality is, like, I really don't believe that you have bad luck if you break a mirror or go under a stupid ladder. It doesn't really work that way. I do think that mirrors can be portals.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay? Yeah. So when you break one, all you're really doing is putting the portal in more pieces.
Okay.
To me, that's all it is. Alright, so next up, I want to talk about a very creepy school.
Ooh, creepy school. Okay.
I think you know who I'm talking about, whatever I'm talking about. But I do have another creepy school to talk about that has nothing to do with what we've seen, because it happened to me personally.
Nice.
So before my grandfather passed away, this was some years ago, I stayed with him for a summer. I had just gotten my CNA license. And I was kind of keeping an eye on him because we were a little worried about him. He wasn't really mentally doing okay after my grandmother passed away. So I stayed with him for that summer. I kept an eye on him, and I kind of did my best to kind of keep things above board. And at one point, we're driving around, and my grandpa starts just automatically driving to... I didn't know where he was going. I was like, Grandpa, where are we going? And he said, oh, I want to visit Berrien Springs. And my brain went, because Berrien Springs is where he grew up. It's not that far from where he was living at the time.
Oh, that's good. It's like sudden road trip.
It's not that far away. It's just really rural. It's really, really countryside-ish, right? And he stops at this really broken down place. And there's, like, overgrowth everywhere, cracks and stuff, broken windows, all this kind of stuff. And I said, Grandpa, what is this? And he said, this is the schoolhouse I went to school at.
Okay.
So he said he started to kind of, like, walk around, and I was a little worried about him because, again, there were things going on that, you know, his mind really wasn't all there. And he walks into the place, like, and I went, okay, I better make sure you're okay. I'm really happy I was wearing tennis shoes because I didn't want to, you know, end up with tetanus.
Yeah.
So we go in, and it literally is it's a one-room schoolhouse. There's no desks. There's nothing in there really. It's everything had clearly been moved out. I think there was like one bookshelf. There was really nothing there. Like the rafters were caving, and I looked up. I remember looking up at it. And, like, I took my phone and I, like, flashlighted up there and checked it out. You know, it's the beams are coming down. And I'm like, Grandpa, we should probably go. This place is falling apart. I really don't want to get caught in this, you know, caught in it. Yeah. And, like, I don't want you to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
It's creepy.
And we start to walk back out. And, my grandpa stops. And he'd been doing some creepy stuff, mind you, but then dementia, right? And we didn't know at the time that it was dementia. But he stops, and he looks behind him, and he just shakes his head, and he walks out. I'm like, am I gonna regret it if I look where he looked?
Oh, God.
I look behind where he was looking, and for about, couldn't have been more than 10 seconds. 10 seconds. It's like we stepped back in time. What? It was like we stepped back in time because I look behind me, the whole place is intact again. There's desks, there's children in the desks, there's a teacher at a teacher's desk, up where the chalkboard would have been. And mind you, this place has not been used as a school since probably the 40s and 50s. And I went, it was very Twilight Zone.
Oh, wow.
And I think, I remember going, huh? And I turn around to look at my grandpa, and he's already, like, halfway across the yard heading back to the truck.
Wow.
And I look behind me again, and it's back to being dilapidated and nothing being there.
Oh.
And I said,
oh, shit.
Well, I kind of, like, turned around to face because this is how I roll with spiritual stuff. I turned around and I just kind of went, have a good day, everyone. And I just walked out. Aww. Because, like, I wanted to say something, but that's the only thing that could come to my brain. But the fact is that, like, it's like I went back to the 30s because these were kids wearing 30s clothing. The teacher was wearing 30s clothing. The globe was 30s something globe on the desk, and I could tell because of the way that it was made.
It's intense.
And I'm just sat there like, did I just walk into a time portal or something?
Right.
Like what happened to me? What was that? Like that is some. That's not just X-Files.
That is really cool.
It's almost like I stepped through a Stargate into the like into the past. It was so weird to me.
That's so cool.
That's so creepy.
Yeah.
But like, so when Farrar came up in our investigations, do you remember how excited I was when you said it was a school?
Yeah.
Do you know why now?
Yeah, I know.
I was like, let's do this. I mean, I know it's not a one-room schoolhouse because at that time you had already told us about the time that you and Steph went to Farrar to do that whole
Ghost Lab episode, but it never aired. So we got to meet.
I wish we could get that footage.
I know, me too. If the Kling brothers, whatever, release it, that would be awesome. I would love to see it.
I would too.
However, I think I might know a reason why they didn't, but I'll tell you that later.
Okay.
So anyway, surprising as it may be, we are almost on an hour, and we got a whole lot more experiences to go through, so maybe we should cut this one and start the next one.
Do a follow-up episode of the rest of the things we're talking about. Yeah. But the reality is that Squirrel Cage Jail definitely takes up a lot of our experiences, and we love that place so much.
Our heart.
We need to go back soon.
Yeah.
I miss it. It's like a haunted home away from home, away from home.
Yeah. For sure. And we got more snacks coming up in the next episode 4, which we were going to do here, but it just an hour got away from us so fast.
I mean, we talk. That's what we do.
We love the paranormal.
And we love to talk about the paranormal.
We don't get a whole lot of time to do it anymore.
We don't. So this is nice.
So we're not really accepting cases unless it's just some ones that we
want to do.
Yeah, so.
But,
you know.
We're happy to talk about it at any point. And by the way, viewers, y'all are watching or listening to us right now. If you have any paranormal experiences, please comment them. We want to hear about what you guys have seen and heard and experienced out there. Because
definitely.
The paranormal world is a very vast one. We don't really know the depths of it.
Experiences happen to a lot of people.
Yeah, so we would love to hear yours, and trust and believe we will believe you.
Oh yeah, for sure. And even I know I will, but even if I don't get around to editing it, there's a lot of OPR EVP videos on this channel at Sisters Insanity. Go check them out. We posted them some October, some years back.
But we also have our own channel for OPR that should still be up, if I remember correctly.
We do, yeah.
And there's not anything new, but we do have a bunch of like EVPs and other things there.
Yep. So check out Omaha Paranormal Research. Skål.
Skål. Bang. And with that, we will see you
in the next episode
of Sisters InSani-Tea. Clink.
Clink.
Thanks for watching, listening. Oh.
We will continue to say goodbye. Oh, yeah, that's right. We can't end it yet. We forgot the tarot reading.
Oh.
The ASMR.
You mean this kind of tarot reading?
Yes. Our favorite deck in the world. For now, I'll go ahead and remove this. Did you drip any over there?
Not that I know of.
I'm just going to wipe it off in case. I'm not going to put you on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably dry by now anyway.
Alright. Decus.
Sorry, I had to.
Alright.
Okay. It's been a while. It's about even.
I've been working with my woodlandy decks lately.
Oh, nice.
Because I've been really into foresty stuff lately. Foresty green.
Foresty.
I'm being a drama queen.
So for those who aren't very familiar with tarot, what I'm doing right now is I'm asking the spirits of the cards or any guardians spirits who want to give out messages to whoever's watching, asking if any of the cards want to be reversed or unreversed.
Oop.
Oh, there you go.
And sometimes your cards go poof.
They go poof on a bit of That was 3. To you. Okay. So this reading is general, like always, general reading to you guys. If you have just a general spirit guide kind of reading. Do you have anything you want to say to the viewers? Preferably 1 to 2 cards. I do not need a whole deck. Also, it does sound like it's thundering out.
I don't think it is. But I did hear that wind when I went up for water.
I got 2 cards. If you want to shuffle out some of yours.
I shuffle a little differently. I do that one that is like this.
Oh, I hate that.
It's the only way I can really do it that makes any sense to me. And then it does that. It fans. It always does it.
But this is my extra deck, so I don't care. My attune deck is at work in my locker. This actually looks like a very nice reading. They are all facing up. It's in a certain order, but I'm going to reverse it because I think it makes more sense that way. So, you are either going to... We have the Four of Wands, which has these beautiful lovers on them. So I'm seeing that it's very possible that you're going to find someone that... Sorry, I totally just made a loud noise. That, you know, attuned to you. You might find or already have a partner that is very close to you. You guys might get married or engaged, or, you know, might be having some fun spicy time. I don't know. But it seems like there's going to be something in the near future with a significant other. And the second card actually shows that there might be a lot of travel in your future.
Perhaps with that partner.
Shields. Exactly. So you and your partner might be going on some fun adventures soon. Does that read any differently for you? Because it
reads similar to me as well.
Okay, because cards will read different to different people.
Okay, both my cards were also upright. And the whole reason I'm going tap, 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 because praying.
Ooh.
So, we got our pretty Page of Swords. Okay. And and the reason that I'm doing them together, unlike what she was doing earlier, Six of Swords. And the fact that, these are both sword cards. Mm-hmm. All this is telling me right now is that if you're watching this and there's been some tumultuousness in your life, A, you're conquering that shit, and B, you're running right over that shit. Mm-hmm. There's victory and new horizons.
Yep. I kind of read that as independence and adventure.
Exactly.
Just same thing.
Pretty much. So, keep striving. You're doing well.
All right. Well.
Alrighty.
On to our ASMR section. But we had to close out the podcast the only way we know how. ASMR.
Oh, right.
We almost forgot the best part. We got
Ghosty ASMR.
Our old bag full of ASMR stuff. There's also a bunch of dice on the bottom, so...
I haven't seen these things in a while. Probably not since your old place.
No, they've been in here since the old place, so pick something out.
Oh, God.
That's for the camera.
Honk, honk.
And the mic. We're going to go ahead and... I can. Let it out of season, but you know.
Oh my God. I don't even remember what that is.
Tongues.
Tongue to tongue, tongue, tongues.
Do you remember Jake doing the whole magical unicorn thing?
We have that on camera somewhere.
It's on Sisters Insanity. You should check out Jake's
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Dice goblet. That gives me visuals.
Nat 20.
Jojo. That's actually very visually pleasing for some reason.
There's so much stuff.
I am now the unicorn. I am now Taisho the unicorn, taking homage from Jake, the magical ASMR unicorn. Imagine yourself crunching down on snow. Walking on a beach. Hearing the waves. I give myself ASMR.
Girl, I can't. I can't anymore. I can't. Take this from me.
I'm sorry for the coughing. And with that, we end the episode. Oh! Surprising.
Careful, careful, careful. There's glasses.
Take the drinks. Century. Hello. Hello, kitty kitty. Kitty kitty meow meow. You are in the ASMR bubble right now. What does it sound like to you? Kitty kitty meow meow. I have no idea what it sounded like. But I look like a fool. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sisters InSani-Tea, episode 3. It rhymes. See ya.
See ya.